lines are blurring as to which pup it's from. I'm Mary Jo Reisma, and I've lived here 40 years, and I live on Lake Jean, and I have a jurisdictional question, because I did get a letter, not for the front of my house or the condition of my house, but because I live on the lake, whatever happened this year, it's different than all the 40 years I've lived here. Somebody has gone out into the lake, I assume in a boat, and has written up my beach. And we have a lovely beach, but the erosion of the water, because of the water going up and down, there's a little, it's all sand, my beach, but there's a little section that has gravel right at the water, and so some of it is caved into the lake. So we got a letter about redoing our beach, and then there was a few weeds, and I'm telling you, it was a very small amount. We don't have a yard full of like the reeds or any of that. And so there's a few weeds on a little bank away from the beach. So my question is, do all the people in Twin Lakes, do the homeowners have jurisdiction over everybody's backyard? Do they have access to people's backyards?
Yes.
And our lake is not a homeowner's lake, it's a flood lake.
Kevin, if I could, and I'm so very sorry, I really think this is just like an open forum thing. I hesitate to sit here billing the association time for non-bylaw stuff, because that was really what I was here for today. And so and every owner, you have the right to talk to the board, to ask, come on out, I want to show you what's going on, those kind of things, so you can correct, misconceptions, things like that. This is supposed to be on the bylaws. I'm just kind of worried I'm sitting here charging you guys things that I don't do and haven't dealt with.
The open forum's coming up after this one.
Okay, so I'll finish. But my question was legal. I wanted to know if this homeowners association has a legal jurisdiction to be looking at the lake that I live on, backyard of my house, that's actually owned by the club. And I'll just finish with, I think it's insensitive. I thought it was incendiary. And it just felt ironic that I was getting dinged for a condition on the lake. And for those of you that don't live on Lake Jean, it's a huge issue. So legally, do they have jurisdiction to my beach that's on the lake?
Aside from whether it was too picky or whatever, because I have no idea. I've never been involved in this and what's going on regarding this particular thing. I assume you're talking about association rights too.
Yes, I am.
The answer is yeah. I mean, associations do have jurisdiction over sight lines and things that can be seen in backyards. Let me give you an example. I represent a large association where a hoarder had dead cars, couches, refrigerators. Half their backyard was stacked like 4 feet high with junk on that, and the neighbors could see that because of like the second floor, things like that. If a neighbor goes to sell the home and somebody goes upstairs and looks out, they're going, oh, I'm not buying this home because the way they got their backyard going. So the general answer to your question is, yeah, associations have some jurisdiction over the care and maintenance of backyards. It's rare, but it requires the due time to talk.
To clarify, this is the section. Go ahead. This is a section on debating the bylaw changes. Questions, discussion, and answers. The open forum will come after the vote. We'll be doing that one later, which will be addressing some of the other issues. So thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Councilor. My name is Don Smith. I've lived there for 5 years. And I support that we adopt these bylaws for 3 main reasons. Number one, the original bylaws were written, over 40 years ago. They're out of date. HOA laws changed, a lot of things have changed since that time, and our community is getting older. We need to address these changes and be able to put into effect the bylaws that will preserve the long-term value of this community and the fiscal responsibility. Also, not willing to wait another year. Last year we delayed this. Some people were concerned. We've had a year to think about those concerns. Today is the time to vote on it, not bringing up more innuendos of what could happen or hypotheticals. This has been a thought-out document for a year, and I think it's time to go ahead and put these things into place because these things need to happen right now. The fiscal year needs to change to be able to collect the legal fees, need to change to keep up with our changing concerns. Number two is the board has a responsibility to uphold the standards of the HOA. And there's people that do a good job at that, most people do, and then there's some that don't. And I think it's the responsibility of the board to to encourage, and that's what the fines are all about, is to encourage the homeowners to stay into compliance. It's not about getting the money, it's about compliance. And some people don't do that unless there's a real motivation to do so. So I think it's important that we give the HOA the tools to be able to enforce the standards that we all came here to enjoy. And that brings up the third one. The legal fees have increased, and we're paying legal fees for these things. And I think those that are causing the legal fees to go up need to pay their share of the responsibility and not be shared by the rest of us. I don't know why everybody would want to just pay the way for those that are not doing their shares, as Chris mentioned a few minutes ago as well. And so I don't want my dues being wasted when it could be recovered by the parties that are causing the problem. The other one is, we have to uphold the standards of the community. I think one of the best advertisements for living in Twin Lakes is go to the south end of Twin Lakes. Look across the street where there are no rules like this. There's no HOA keeping the standards up. Look at the yards. Look at the blue tarp over the tents over the storage facilities and the boats and the trailers and the trees growing through those places. If we want to live like that, move across the street. We want to live in a community that has standards and oppose those standards, then we need to give the HOA board the tools to do that and reflect the changes that our community deserves. I vote yes.
You must be, or have been in media. You have the perfect TV and radio voice.
One comment to that, he says across the street, if you just drive out of our neighborhood to Brigadoon from the elementary school, you can see exactly where our neighborhood starts and exactly where it ends. And it gets worse and worse as they go on.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Scott Dorn, and I live in Division 5. I'm also a newcomer of 6 years. And I will be one of the few in the minority speaking in favor of the change. I will agree that this is the first time I've, in a professional organization, just have been through 5 elections where we had amendments to bylaws, and each and every one of those changes was a separate yes or no vote. I don't think that affects the bottom line of item 14. I'm not sure what universe 1,100 people doing the right thing should have to pay the bill for 70 who do not. No business who had 1,100 clients and had 70 who didn't follow the exact same contract. The rest of those employees, those other in that agreement, would not be expected to pay the bill of the few that don't follow them. That's what we're being asked to do now without this change. I have never lived in an HOA before. My home in Anchorage, we had an informal HOA. Your dandelions are getting in my yard, and it got fixed. I do not believe the board is as draconian as some might think it is, or that the bylaws are such. I would suggest maybe as a remedy to that, if you think the board is draconian, run for a board position.
Just to clarify, we have 1,356 homes, a little more than 1,100, and that's about $50 per home that you're paying for legal fees passed on to you. So, any other people for or against it? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to close the debate.
Okay. Sam, go to the mic so everybody can hear.
I'll use my teacher voice.
Or let's just say it real loud.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move to close the debate. I second it.
Okay. Moved and second to close debate. The chairman now will take a vote. Members, I'm giving. Oh, sorry. Okay, requires a 2/3 vote to close debate. All in favor, stand. Hey, be seated. All opposed.